What if you could use sound as medicine for body, mind, and spirit? Marry your love of music and your passion for healing into a successful business. Sound healing is a growing state-of-the-art healing technology. It works beneath the conscious mind, shifting our body, minds, and souls through the power of vibration to relieve stress, accelerate physical healing, and clear emotions. It literally penetrates and heals at a cellular level. This is why hospitals, yoga studios, healing clinics are all flocking to sound healing as a modality that can really work to help heal and accelerate healing in a way that's joyful and easy, liberating, and effective. Sound healing has been shown to synchronize our brainwave to create more coherent states of consciousness. We were creating a field of freedom, connection, and increased peace and harmony in which people can let down their guards and release old stories, old patterns that no longer serve.
My name is Stephen Dunn. I'm the founder and CEO of the Shift Network, and I'm delighted to be here with you, getting to explore further into the outer reaches of sound healing.
The top sound healers in the world have all come together to create a comprehensive, year-long immersion that gives you the best possible understanding of the science and theory, as well as the specific practices available through multiple sound healing modalities. And it's all focused on really unlocking new dimensions of our being in a joyful and harmonious way. Now, I want to let you know what you can expect from today's event. We are going to take you on an exciting journey. We're also going to introduce you to some world-class faculty. We're going to take you into some short experientials from some of these faculty that will help ground you for the rest of your day. And you're also going to receive detailed information about our training program, really a best-in-kind training program. And you're going to hear some of the firsthand experiences of students who went through the first version of this program. And please remember to stay all the way to the end so that you can get access to your special bonus video, which is a sound bath from Geraldine Glass. Now, I'd love to introduce you to our faculty as you experience the beautiful music of integration facilitator Frederick Johnson.
Come, come with me. Come, come with me as we journey inwardly. Come, come with me. Back into your eyes and your mind. Open your eyes and be with me. Always remember, knowing peace abides within.
There's a power in vibration, in music, in sound to help us open deeper octaves of who we are. And that's part of what this field is advancing.
It's a very exciting moment that we're in to sort of see the sort of crystallization of a global field and advancing to a next level, and to get to play a role in that. And I imagine if you've signed up for today that you're excited about that as well. So we're going to hear about the broad field. We're going to look at the science and the practice, and also hear all about our Sacred Sound Healer training program, which is very exciting. So with that said, we're here today with John Stuart Reid, and he's the acoustic scientist. He's an inventor of the cymoscope and really been a pioneer, particularly in the science of sound healing. And so John, I would love for you to share a little bit about what you've seen as sort of the evolution of sound healing and how it's going to transform a lot of different disciplines, particularly in the realms of health and healing.
Absolutely, Stephen. So sound healing in the form of music medicine, at least, is now being used in hospitals worldwide. Many hospitals have now recognized that music actually has positive health benefits for patients. So this is a wonderful direction that has been accomplished in clinical settings in general. So one of the reasons for this, of course, is that the biological mechanisms that underpin both sound therapy and music medicine have now been recognized in clinical terms. So in other words, things like, for example, how music improves vagal tone, how music can also stimulate nitric oxide production, how music helps a patient to be happy, basically. And of course, when we are happy, dopamine is released in the body, and dopamine then has been shown to have direct correlation with white blood cells. In other words, white blood cells are proliferated when we are happy. So these are the reasons, I think, to be most excited in terms of how sound healing in the world is beginning to change the face of medicine. If we use the umbrella term frequency medicine, we're talking about both sound and light. So I'm really excited about the way things are going in the mainstream. And also, this is reflecting, of course, into general practitioners who are working with sound and with light. And so it's a really wonderful direction that's happening right now.
Well, thank you, John. That's really so exciting. And we look forward to hearing so much more from you in the upcoming Sacred Sound Healer training program. Sound healing is a modality that, frankly, I didn't used to know a lot about. When my wife first started studying it, it was a little bit out of left field for me, but it's really become increasingly popular within the Shift network. And it's partially because there's a lot of great science and a lot of great applications. It's really showing that it works, that it's healing, it's transformation, it leads to a real up-leveling of our body, mind, and life. And to illustrate this, we want to bring in a student of the 2023 Sacred Sound Healer Training Program. Her name is Andrea Hallam-Cohen. She's a concert violinist and somatic practitioner, and she's going to share some of her experiences, impressions of the program in general, and particularly focusing on the science and theory. So welcome, Andrea.
Thank you, Stephen.
So let's first hear a little bit about your background. What brought you to the Sacred Sound Healer Training Program?
What brought me to this program was that I've been a musician most of my life. I started playing when I was 4, and in the last 10 years or so, I've made a transition into the therapy direction, which actually started with tomatis, which is one of the modalities that has been talked about in our program. And this sound program changed my life, and I was suddenly aware of all kinds of things that I just didn't know were there, and I was motivated to learn more, and as a result I've become a therapist, and with all these years, the last 10 years, I've been really aware that, in a sense, I've been working with my instrument, which was the violin and viola, for so many years. And the last 10 years, I really feel aware that it's my body and my mind that I've been working with. And I was aware that I needed to make my instrument now my body mind. That was what I was working on. I was still performing as a violinist every so often, and I most of the time was working as a therapist, but I was really frustrated that they weren't yet kind of connecting. And so I really thought, okay, I'm going to take the plunge. I'm going to see what I can do to bridge this gap. And I'm thrilled to say that I feel like it's happening, and I'm starting to use sound now in my clinical work with clients. And it's also changed my experience of, my professional, music career, which I've been doing for so long. And suddenly I feel like it's been given a new lease of life. So it's been really kind of regenerative for my music, but also really important for me to kind of make that integration after all these years of these two major streams of my life.
Well, it's exciting to see that integration coming together. And I'm wondering if you can share a little bit about your experience, particularly the science and theory track, and how that helped advance this integration and then application in your work.
One of the most exciting things for me towards the beginning of the program was when John Stuart Reid talked about the early universe and how sound was really one of the, formative forces of the early universe, and that there are fossils, that are actually fossils of sound waves, which were propagated in the early universe, which no longer, the universe no longer supports sound because the atmosphere became too diffuse. So it doesn't do that anymore. But when it was denser towards the beginning, apparently, it's actually formed these fossils. So that was really exciting for me.
That is exciting. And I wonder if you could share a little bit more about some specifics around how you're applying what you've been learning in your transformational work with people.
So, well, maybe I'll just give you a couple of examples from this week, because really with this training, and there's a certain momentum to it. And I feel like every single week I'm learning something new and implementing something new, and new things are happening all the time. So I think about a week ago, we had a session with Puma, who is this Andean shaman from Peru, who's been teaching us amazing things. And one of the things that really struck me in his last class was that he said that we could sing to any difficult processes that we're going through. So it might be an illness, or it might be a difficult emotion or a difficult situation or something. And he recommended that we sing to it. So rather than kind of turn away or reject it, or even just talking to it, he said it will really notice if you actually sing. And I thought, what a gorgeous way to work with a difficult process. And I work with IFS, internal family systems, a lot in my work. And I thought, how about, asking my clients if they try singing to their parts. So I did that in my first session after I heard Puma's class, and it worked beautifully. It was, this part just melted and softened, and it was just gorgeous. And then just yesterday, I had another client come, and she started working with a part, and she spontaneously broke into song and started singing to it without any prompting from me. And I just sat back in awe, and I'm like, this is extraordinary that something in my field in the last week has made it into my clinical work without me even saying a word.
That's a very interesting example of some metaphysical implications once it's in your field, that it starts to activate naturally. Well, Andrea, thank you so much for being part of this program, and really being part of the larger work of bringing sound healing into new forms that help people transform. So thank you.
I'm delighted to be here with you, getting to explore further into the outer reaches of sound healing. And we're going to get to explore some of these frontiers, particularly around the science of vibration, with one of the preeminent pioneers in the world today. His name is David Gibson. He's the founder of the Globe Sound Healing Institute, Sound Healing Therapy and Research Foundation, and he really has been doing some fascinating research on sound's ability to heal. So David, let's talk about how you can dial in the specific kinds of frequencies that are going to have the kind of desired impact on whatever system of our body, mind, or soul we're trying to address.
So we can resonate not only the frequency of one part of the body, but the entire harmonic spectrum, which means all the frequencies. The heart is not one frequency, it's got all these different components, down to the cellular level, down to the atomic level. We resonate all parts into harmony, get every frequency back to its healthy state, and you're now healthy. But there's the other aspect that a lot of people know about these days, and that is the opposite, where you take and find the frequency of something and turn the volume up and explode it. This is called destructive resonance in physics. And this is exactly what they do with ultrasound on kidney stones. Find its frequency, turn the volume up, and kablooey. We're talking now, when you find all the frequencies, you can explode at 100%. The definition of health is smooth flow without blockages. Not only physically, that we've been talking about only, but emotionally. Joy, incredible flow. The flow of the energy of your soul. So let's work at all levels. Let's work at the cellular level, the frequency level. Let's work at the organ level, which is a bunch of frequencies called a timbre. Let's work at the level of relationship between the cells and all the organs. Let's work at the flow level and work at all 5 levels. Let's work at all levels. As I always say, the more ways you lead a horse to water, the more chances it'll drink.
This program is designed to prepare you with the best foundational understandings and the leading edge methodologies that can really be applied in a practice. This program, you'll learn a lot about the science and theory behind sound and vibration. This includes cutting edge research on the impact of sound on our physical, mental, and emotional bodies. You'll learn how to use crystal bowls, tuning forks, and other tools, while also understanding how the biofield tuning works within the human energy field.
Everything that we ever experience, and even what our ancestors experienced, is encoded in our biofields. And biofield tuning is a neat way to explore these memories, these impressions, and actually modulate them and change the way that the body and brain reference those memories.
You'll engage in immersive sound experiences, sound journeys, sound baths, as well as understand how to use sound for altered states of consciousness and to catalyze healing in those states, and so much more.
It's really for people who are on an individual path of seeking and growth, but particularly for practitioners, for therapists, for yoga studio owners, for people transitioning to a second career, nurses and hospitals. It's all the different people who can apply sound healing in a way that really leads to enhanced human health, well-being, betterment, peace building. There's so many applications.
Now, let's hear from Barry Goldstein, who shares a moving story about how his career as a successful music producer was resurrected, so to speak, when he started following his heart.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be with all of you today. And thank you so much for the shift, for having me in part of this amazing program. And what I'm excited to tell you is that you are all in such an amazing place to be doing what you're doing here. 30 years ago when I started doing this type of sound, people looked at me like I had 3 heads when I talked about, sound healing. And I grew up in New York City. I grew up in the Bronx, in a pretty tough neighborhood. And we were utilizing music to transform really lower vibrational things that were going on in our lives. Everything from, I had friends whose brothers were gang members and they came from alcoholic families, and they were using music to heal and they didn't even know it. I just thought I'd tell you a little bit more about myself and a little bit more of my background. So I was a major label record producer and still work in the music industry as well. But I had reached a real fork in the road where I was beginning to lose my love for music, where it became a job. I don't know if any of you have ever been in a similar situation where you had these amazing expectations and then it didn't exactly turn into what you thought it was going to be. That I needed to come back home to my heart. And where all that started, the 14-year-old kid sitting on the edge of his bed playing a guitar and writing songs. And so I decided that I was going to do the opposite of everything that I was doing in the music business. Instead of creating these 5-minute structured songs, what would happen if I just came back to my heart and let the music come through me? So I started taking these hour-long journeys where I had no preconception of what I was composing. I wasn't writing the music out. It was just coming through me. And then friends that I shared it with started using them for different things. A friend whose mom had dementia started playing it for his mom. People started using it in dentist's office to distract them from what was going on there. People started using them for massage therapy and taking them into chemo treatments. And so this that experiment that started out really to manage my own stress and anxiety ended up rippling out beyond my expectation and helping me manage my stress, helping me gain focus in my field. I ended up co-producing a Grammy Award-winning track with Les Paul, the inventor of the electric guitar. And my career went down a completely different path where I was using music as medicine. And My career has been blessed by being able to share this work. I've done a lot of music for Joe Dispenza, his meditations, Dr. Daniel Amen, one of the pioneers of utilizing PET scans and using music to shift brain waves. Dave Asprey created tones for 40 years of Zen. This field is wide open, and it's wide open for whatever you want to bring to it. All you have to do is really utilize your wisdom that you're gaining here and find out what resonates in your heart. And I would like to just start off with a piece of music, and just for all of us to connect. It's a big part of the work, is how do we create a sacred space? It is a place where you connect with your heart and you bring your giftedness through. So with that, if you feel guided to, place your hands on your heart, since that is our home base, and just slow your breathing down, close your eyes, allow yourself to receive, and set an intention for yourself for today. What would you like to see occur? If music was a bridge that could take you from one place to another, which it is, where would you like to end up by the end of the session today? And just go inward. It'll take me a moment to kind of transfer over here and just allow yourself to receive. Good, and just give yourself a big breath in through your heart. Big sigh out. And that audible sigh. Give yourself one more big breath in through the heart. And a big breath out. And you see, it doesn't take a long amount of time to really just move into these smooth and orderly rhythms, to come into the heart, to slow our brain waves down in whatever you had to do to get here today. Just thank yourself for being here, just bringing in that gratitude.
Thank you so much, Barry. That was truly uplifting. Now I'd like to introduce us to Beth Kaiser. She's a student of the 2023 Sound Healer Training Program. And let's hear from her more about her experience with the practical application classes. So welcome, Beth.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be invited.
Great. Well, we'd love to just, first of all, just introduce yourself and a little bit, your background and what level of sound healing you had before you came into the program.
I've been working as a board certified music therapist since the 1980s. I started out in pre-med and I was a cellist on a music scholarship. And, I read a book by Helen Bonney that my grandmother gave me in 1976 about the power of music and sound and visualization. And I've seen over and over again throughout my life the value, the importance, the potency of music and sound to impact wellness in people's lives. So I'm just so convicted of it. And my only regret is that I'm not, 30 years younger and I could start all over again and use all this great new science. I found myself having aha moments along the way very often. Fred Johnson was just mind-blowingly authentic. His capacity to relate his own story was phenomenal. Christine Stevens, I'm so delighted by what she's done with her work with sound and community and drumming. And I mean, she's just brilliant. Empowering me to have permission to use an instrument that I am not an expert in. As a professional musician, I feel super comfortable using the cello, or as someone trained in acupuncture, I feel very comfortable using tuning forks. But to pick up the drum and say, oh yeah, I can explore this and discover how it works with my voice. That was very empowering. I also love Geraldine Glass's ideas, just an innovator, and her energy is beautiful and wonderful. Actually had a sound session with another person in this class this morning. And the two of us are going to watch some of the classes together. We're able to have collegial discussions and celebrate our accomplishments, check in on how did this feel for you, what worked in your session, want to try this on each other. And I think it's been really valuable because of the community and the commitment to integrity. I really believe that it's through vibration and increasing our frequency in our lives and in our clinical practices that we'll be able to have more empowered approaches to wellness. I really find John Stuart Reid's research essential in moving us forward in the profession and really the professional application of sound in contemporary treatment and in medicine.
Right. Well, thanks for helping to evolve the field and apply all these great domains of expertise in your own healing work. So thank you so much, Beth, for joining us. Now we get to hear from Chloë Goodchild, one of our voice faculty, very beloved, as she shares the advantages of taking this training at this time and how she came to discover the power of sound healing.
This is a whole new offering and invitation to find your voice in a way that is non-performative. It's not entertainment driven. It's not driven by, negative narratives of religious dogma or anything whatsoever. Just simply to minister as inspired. And I started just simply opening my mouth non-verbally and just experiencing what it was like just to share what I came to describe as it became a whole practice, which is, how do I feel? How does that sound? And what quality of silence does that leave behind? So it was out of this silence that I started really exploring just the nature of sound itself. Sound before conceptual ideas, sound before the intervention of the rational mind, just the source of sound. And so it would be as simple as And what I realized was there was this alchemy between sound and feeling and silence that was utterly captivating. It seemed to say so much more than any amount of words.
It was a healing journey to really find what is my authentic expression of myself. What is there if I don't put anything on top So I went through all of these stages until to really, wow, liberate this part and the expression of myself, of who I am also in the world and what I have to say or want to express through words or even just through sound. The program so far has been so beautiful, so rich. There's so many beautiful aspects and angles of all the different teachers and faculty members. I came more from an intuitive place, and now really understanding the science behind it is very interesting to me, especially with tutors like John Stuart Reid and David Gibson and Eileen McCusick. All of them bring really beautiful knowledge. Now taking classes with the Brothers Corn, for example, and getting to know a little bit of their way of work has really given me also the confidence to figure out my way, incorporating the things that I've learned. Yeah, it boosted me in many ways.
Thank you so much. And next, we're going to get to hear from another student in the 2023 Sacred Sound Healer Training Program. Her name is Kiana Sino. And we're particularly interested to get a little bit of your feedback about how the overall journey went for you in this program, and the structure and some of the things that really worked for you.
I sort of started this journey as someone who was participating in sound baths regularly. I had a lot of chronic pain and a lot of chronic fatigue, and I found that sound healing was very, very helpful. So helpful that I decided to pursue it as a profession myself. I got my first certification in sound healing about a year ago. It was a shorter course, and I really wanted to broaden my knowledge about the field before I really started taking my practice into the public. So that's where I am now. The course has really helped me with my confidence. I have learned so much. It's been really, really great so far. I love the balance in the program. That's one of my very favorite things about it. So I love that you have on one side the practical application and all of the sacred elements, and also you've got all the science. So there's a really great feeling of balance and a very well-rounded feeling to the program. You've got the lessons, which are recorded if you can't make them in person, which is very handy. And then the homework commitment is not too great. And the teachers are really wonderful about providing extra resources so you can really go in depth as much as you want. The community has been really great. I love that there is time for questions after every single class. It's really given me a good experience of how other people on the course are using the knowledge that we're gathering. And there's a really, really wide range of people who are taking the course. So we've got everyone from Western style medicine doctors who are looking to integrate more natural healing into their practices. And we've got sound healers who have been doing private sound healing for decades. And we've got people like me who are sort of newer to the field and looking to go more in depth.
Awesome, Kiana. Well, pleasure to have you as part of this important training and advancing the field. So thank you for saying yes and for continuing to evolve your own skills and capacities to help other people heal.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for providing this course. I think that the ripples of this course are going to spread out across the world for years to come. And I'm really excited for next year's students.
So there's going to be 48 science and theory class sessions. So we'll also have 48 practical application class sessions. We'll have
live monthly
integration sessions,
live monthly Q&A sessions.
We're going to have guest workshops. So that's a big library of content. We don't expect everybody's going to be able to make every single class. And so we do make video recordings, audio recordings, and full word-for-word transcripts of every class session so that you can really go back. You can refer to this library for years to come. You can keep rereading things or re-listening to things. We want you to engage this material reflectively too. So we're going to have reflective writing prompts for each unit. It helps you to integrate what you've learned. There's an online community to support you. And at the very end of the year, there's going to be a capstone project This is something that is a hands-on experience that you really do. It might be working in elder care. It might be offering something to a yoga studio. It's a sound bath or sound journey. That you design something that's really authentic to you, that applies the skills and techniques you've cultivated. And that helps you to really anchor what you've learned in the practice.
The training program is going to start on October 21st and run through December 22nd, 2025.
The investment's one payment of $5,000. We also have a payment plan available, which a lot of people do take advantage of, and I encourage you to, because you can spread out the payments so you can really make best use of your own resources and participate if you're called. In addition, to give you some extra incentive to sign up now, we're offering a special discount of $500 off for a limited time. There is an application process. Space is limited, so that it's to your advantage to apply early and get signed up. And it is a very high-touch program, so there's a lot of engagement with other people. We want you to engage with each other, and that creates a field of permission and blessing and empowerment. So again, all the detail is at soundhealertrainingprogram.com, soundhealertrainingprogram.com. I really see it as the healing wave of the future that is going to play such a pivotal role in uplifting humanity. If you feel like you would like to explore a next phase of life in which you are really integrating and working with sound healing as a primary way of touching, reaching, and blessing and empowering other people, that's what this program is designed for. And together we can really make a difference and uplift the planet.
Work, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
To be in this sacred space and for clients to give me that privilege to help them and the confidence that they have in me to work with them. I wouldn't have been able to do this without the skills that I've learned with the Sacred Sound Healer program.
And now, in closing, we'd like to leave you with a soothing crystal healing sound bath from Geraldine Glass.